Hey, I mean praying's for church, huh? Come on.
I haven't seen you in church lately.
Well, there's not much sense in my going to church.
Difficult to imagine such a thing actually happening, but these are the reports we have been receiving and passing on to you.
I think you should just calm down.
All right, is this thing on? Did I do it right? Did I press all the right buttons? Man, it has been a little while since I did a live stream, to be honest. I haven't done anything off the cuff in such a long time that I've almost forgotten like how to do stuff off the cuff. uh you know, for the past probably I would say, I don't know, Lance, you're in the chat. How long have I been reading scripts now? Has it been like 2 years, almost 3 years? Whereas before that I did everything off the cuff. So I'm going to be a little bit probably awkward. So I'm sorry about that. I'm funnier in my videos because I write down all the jokes ahead of time, right? But I think I did figure out how to do something though on the live stream. So here we go. I have this media assets tab, and I think let me know if you guys can hear this sound. Did you guys hear that? It took me like half an hour to figure out how to add this to the live stream app. Nice. Well, now that we have established that I can be heard, welcome everybody to this live stream. And I wanted to do this towards the end of the year because I'm kind of planning on taking a little bit of a break at the end of this year. And usually whenever I take a break, people are like, oh, is something going on? Nothing's going on. Really, nothing's going on at all. It's just usually at the end of the year, I like to take a break for a little bit and focus on family and friends and all that. But I'll be honest with you guys, this year has been totally different than years past, as far as engagement and people watching stuff and making content. It's been kind of a wild ride this year. So thank you guys all so much for coming to this live stream. And I want to open the floor up to you guys because I know a lot of you guys have questions and I'm not always great at answering them in the comments. So if you guys have any questions, just throw them in the chat. I do have real-time chat pulled up. So if you ask me something, I will do my absolute best to answer whatever you guys might have for me. So I'm gonna open the floor to you guys and try not to spam you with shotgun blasts because there's all these amazing buttons that I want to press. All right, so have I heard the new holy name? I have not heard the new holy name. And I'm also going to be totally transparent with you guys. I had a lot of trouble getting through the first Holy Name album. And that's probably my fault because I really like really heavy like fast in your face music most of the time. And Holy Name, while it's very beautiful and it's very artful, it's so chill. I have not taken the time to really wrap my head around it. Maybe I should do that while I'm on break. I'm gonna write that down. Give me 1 second. So I'm gonna put a list of goals in this little notebook that I have here. Because we're going to listen to Holy Name. Oops. Listen to Holy Name on winter break. All right, that's an easy one. We got it. Sergio Xavier, this is your first live stream from Guatemala. That is crazy awesome. Thank you so much for taking the time out to watch me talk to you guys awkwardly on YouTube. So have I heard the new holy name? Yeah, I wrote that down. Did I see that Omni Part 3 is happening? I did see that Omni Part 3 is happening. And since you guys are here, I will let you know. Earlier this week, I believe it was over the weekend. I can't remember what day it was now. I think it was Saturday. Yeah, Saturday. Saturday, I sat down with Andrew Schwab and we talked for 2 hours about Omni Part 3. So, yeah, I know about it, and I'm currently working on cutting that interview together to where it's interesting because me and Schwab have so much fun dorking out about sci-fi. So it's going to be a lot of like me trying to figure out what to include and what's relevant. Or I could just drop the whole thing raw. Let me know which one you'd want, a highly edited interview or a raw one. Arise in the fall. Hey man, just able to say yo. Probably the only time I say yo. Hey man, yo, thank you so much. Thank you. Christ Metal Mayhem. All right, here we go. First question is, why did you not include Winter Soul in your Unblack Metal video? Maybe I don't know about them. I don't know about them, which is probably why I didn't include them. So the funny thing about these bands is a lot of the time, in a lot of cases in the list videos, especially, what I'll do is I'll write down an entire list of bands like in that notebook that I was just writing down. Uh, and I usually, whenever I get to like 50 bands, I stop, right? Because 50 bands is like just so much overload. But Winter Soul is one that did not come to my mind because I'm not very familiar with them. But like Holy Name, I will check them out. I've seen your recommendation for Winter Soul a couple of times, so I will definitely be checking that out whenever I get a chance. Blindside is going to drop soon. Is there a new Blindside? Tell me about this Blindside album. Is it going to be an album, or you know what? They did put a single out, didn't they, recently? And it was like it was really good from what I remember. It was like more in their hard rock style, if I'm remembering that correctly. But yeah, no, tell me more about that new Blindside, because I would definitely be interested. I love pretty much all Blindside stuff. Okay, Blindside dropped Dead Weight in March, and they said in June that they're making a new album. That is so cool. So I don't keep up with a lot of that stuff too. You may notice that I can at times be hard to get along with online, or not hard to get along with, I hope, but hard to get a hold of online. Sorry guys, I'm really nervous. I'm not used to just talking to the camera like this, where I can't go in and cut things out later, right? But yeah, no, that's super exciting. I can't wait to hear a new Blindside album. I've heard I've loved all their stuff. Even their like less kind of heavy stuff. But I do love that classic Blindside, like Swedish punk hardcore sound. Deadweight's a lot better than most of the stuff on their album. That's awesome. Joseph, A Thought Crushed My Mind was peak Blindside for me. Absolutely. Yeah, that album completely blew my mind. Whenever I first heard it, like, it crushed my mind, right? I thought I liked the first one too, but like the first one's not sure what kind of album it wants to be. And so you get, some like really, really, really heavy, intense songs on that one, but then some of the rest of it kind of meanders. But on A Thought Crushed My Mind was like where they really figured it out. They're like, we're gonna stick with this one sound throughout almost the entire record, and it's so good. A Thought Crushed My Mind is an all-time legendary album. It is. But you know what? I also really like Silence by Blindside. I did an episode of the Roach Coach podcast a couple of years ago, and we talked about Silence track by track, and we were kind of poking fun a little bit at the whole at how Christian rock it is, in places with the lyrics. But like, all joking aside, I absolutely loved Silence. But there's nothing on A Thought Crushed My there's nothing on A Thought Crushed My Mind that I have to feel like I have to explain to anybody or try to justify it as being cool. Yeah, that record still is in my regular rotation. I love it. I also really liked, if we're talking about Blindside, I also really, really liked Blindside's The Great Depression album. That record, like the lyrics on that record are like really, really emotional and really, really biting. And yeah, that record is so good. The Great Depression. I mean, Blindside very rarely misses. They're such a good combination of like really emotional raw kind of lyrics and vocal delivery, but then also they can put out like a really catchy like mainstream rock song. The Great Depression is probably my second favorite. I love that they tried to return to the hardcore roots in some songs. Yeah. Well, there's the one song where they had the singer of Self Mind Dead was on there, and that absolutely blew me away, because that's another band that I got into Self Mind Dead because they reminded me of Blindside a little bit, like on their second album, At the Barricades We Fall. That is so good. Come to Rest. Yeah, I think that is the song. I wonder if I could like pull some of these songs up on YouTube. I probably could, but I'll probably get like, I don't know, copyright roboted or something. Talking about music on YouTube's really hard. I found through trial and error. You know, when I first started posting videos on YouTube, I had no idea how the copyright system works. So I would play like 35, 40-second clips of songs, and then I would get destroyed. You know, I would get copyright struck into the ground. Not struck, but like copyright claimed, right? So I couldn't monetize those videos. Not that I really made any money, you know, anyway at that time. Do you think Solid State will ever remaster / mix Training for Utopia's Plastic Soul Impalement? I think that they put that out on vinyl, didn't they? Didn't they release Plastic Soul Impalement on vinyl? I have it on, or used to have it on vinyl. I don't know if I might still have this on vinyl. Hang on, let me look. And hi, the Rumors Are True podcast. That's my friend Jeremy. He is a amazing interviewer and podcaster. So I'm super glad to hear to see him here, because he is the man. Hopefully you guys listen to his like really, really, really long and awesome interview with Andrew Godwin of Hope Deferred. That was like a real popcorn cruncher. that was such a good interview. Let me see about this though. I'm curious. I know that's not your question about whether I have this album on vinyl, but I don't think that they definitely, I don't think, remixed or remastered it, and I don't know if they ever will. Is there something with the original? Personally, I think that the original Plastic Soul Impalement sounds incredible, and I wouldn't change anything about it. So I'm curious to see what you would change about it in a remaster. While I'm thinking, I'm gonna look and see if I have this on vinyl or not. I don't have a lot of vinyl. I don't collect much vinyl, I guess is what I'm really getting at. Lack of funds and all that. Self Mind Dead was a great band. Absolutely. Absolutely. I didn't know Hope Deferred existed until your channel. Really good. Yeah, man. I mean, for a lot of people, I noticed they kind of dropped out of nowhere, which is great, right? Because like I would love to just hear a record like that out of the blue and be like super impressed and love it. But I'd actually been waiting for that thing for years. Yeah. Let's see here. Okay. You love it. But it sounds thin. You know how to explain it. I get it. I mean, I do think that album, Plastic Soul Impalement, sounds like, you know, it sounds almost like a band is playing in a room next to you, more so than like in your face. But I do think that was like super, super intentional. And so, yeah, it definitely is a matter of preference. It's like bothering me now. I will get to the next question. I have to see if I still have this on vinyl. I just, yeah, boy. Here we go. I never thought I'd be like a vinyl guy, because I'm really not, and I did not take good enough care of this. But yes, this is Plastic Soul Impalement by Training for Utopia on vinyl. And yeah, but this is old school. This is from like when the album came out, if I'm not mistaken, because I picked this up at Cornerstone for like $5 or $6. Like it was it's funny to think about now, honestly. I did get caught up on chat here. Sorry guys. Okay. Blindside, Living Sacrifice, great bands. First live stream watch listen here from the Derek W. Thank you so much, Derek. That means a lot to me, you know, because like with the whole live stream thing, I have live streamed in the past for my old podcast, and it's always like sometimes you're just sitting there for 2 hours, like looking at the screen, like being like, well, should I keep talking if nobody's here, right? So I wasn't totally sure what to expect. Whenever I first started in on this, started doing the live stream thing. I know people watch and like the videos, but the cool thing about a video is you can watch it anytime, you know, day or night. But that's awesome. Thank you for joining us for this. Your Norma Jean video got me into Norma Jean. Now I can't stop listening to him. Well, that's awesome. That's incredible. That's really cool. Norma Jean is absolutely I mean, probably a top 5 band. Um, yeah, it's probably a top 5 band for me. Norma Jean is incredible, and they continue to outdo themselves. So, like, it's no secret that my favorite band is Zayo, right? Followed very closely by Living Sacrifice, followed very closely by Norma Jean, and I really like Hope's Fall and so many bands. I say top 5, but I feel like my top 5 is always rotating because, like, I like a lot of music and I refuse to pick a favorite a lot of the time. The Rumors Are True podcast, favorite non-metal band. Ooh, that's a hard question, and I don't know if this is a sufficient answer, but I would say probably this week. I would go with Portishead probably. I sometimes I have a little bit of trouble regulating stress, and so whenever I am really stressed out and I want to relax, metal doesn't always do it for me. So I'll put a Portishead record on. I really love the album Dummy by Portishead, and so yeah, probably my favorite non-metal band right now. Future Untold. If you like slamming deathcore but experimental sound, check out my Christian project Rebirth of Spiders. Okay, well, I will check that out, but I'm absolutely not going to tell my wife about it because she's terrified of spiders. And if we kill one, she doesn't want them to be reborn. I'm kidding. I will check it out. The only vinyl I collected is Zayo, Title Fight, and Appleseed Cast. See, that's smart. That's what I actually need to do is like pick a couple of bands and only collect for those bands whenever I want to get the more expensive stuff like vinyl. As you guys can see, I'm a little bit into CDs. CDs are kind of like my main thing. So that's super. Yeah, that's a smart idea though. It's just to pick a couple of bands and just go from there, right? That was a really good Norma Jean video. Would love a similar one for Zayo if there isn't one already. Yes, a Zayo video is coming, and I can't guarantee it's going to come this year because I'm pretty much just going to be posting that interview with Andrew Schwab, Project 86, and then I'll be going on winter break. So it'll be probably until January, February before I put another video out, unless I'm just feeling so, unless you're feeling so. Unless I'm feeling so inspired that I just have to put a video out. The black metal one was kind of like that. I wasn't planning on doing a black metal video this year, and I just did it, and I'm glad that I did. So yeah, definitely look out for Zayo. I love Zayo. The reason it takes me such a long time to do Zayo stuff is because I love the band so much. I want to make sure that I actually am really doing my due diligence and mentioning all the things about the band that I think are interesting and fun. So that's kind of why. But I do have some Zayo stuff on the channel. One of the first videos I did, or within the first 5 videos I posted, because I started posting on YouTube in 2023. I was just an audio podcaster before that, and the Zayo. So one of the first ones that I did Zayo, the Crimson Corridor. I did a track by track breakdown on that record, and then I also did a track by track breakdown on Zayo's self-titled album. So that was cool. That was fun. But yeah, I definitely want to do like a similar one to what I did with Norma Jean. I was really into the album deep dives, but it seems like people respond better to like more of the band overviews. So that's kind of why I kind of shifted gears more towards like what I did with that Norma Jean video, or even if you go back, like the Embodiment video that was all about that band. Okay, sorry. Keep it up with chat. Cool. We're out here. You the man. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate you guys being here. This is actually really cool. Christ Metal Mayhem. Hey, I know it would catch your viewers off guard. How about a deep dive on Joy Electric? That would require me to actually listen to Joy Electric, although I probably would not be upset if I listened to Joy Electric. I am totally into that. That'd be cool. Yeah. Rumors Are True podcast. Dummy is good. Dummy is so good. My favorite track on that album is It Would Be Sweet, or It Could Be Sweet. Very, very relaxing album and song. Funny story. I actually, back in like 2012, I was a cable guy, And whenever I was learning about like how to climb utility poles and stuff in order to do cable, um, I got like really, really, really sick one day, and I was out in a pole yard, and like I came home and was running like 105-degree fever after being out in the pole yard while being sick all day. And I remember putting that Portishead album Dummy on repeat and just like listening to it for like the next 12, 13 hours while I just lay there trying to like come back to life after being in that situation. Um, Okay. Oh man, I had some water. Yeah, you can make your own merch if you're cheap like I am. You just buy a Stanley cup and then put a Zayo sticker on it. Like it works. Oh man. All right, let's see here. Um. Wow, I would have never guessed your answer to that question was going to be Portishead. That's awesome. Yeah, Lance, I'm surprised you and I haven't talked about Portishead more. We should have done Portishead on discography discussion, honestly. Um, Skull tattoo. My grandma gave me "Bless the Martyr and Kiss the Child" for Christmas whenever I was a teenager. That is so cool. Now, did your grandma know what it sounded like? Because I remember my parents bought that. Um, my parents bought that album for me at a Christian bookstore, and I remember driving home, and like sometimes when they would buy me a record, they would like 100% be like, just pop it in, and that always scared me to death because I was like, oh, I really don't want them to hear what this. And I'm so glad that they didn't do that with that album, and that they didn't do it with X-Toll Burial. Right, because they would have chucked it like immediately whenever they heard that. But that's super cool. Get it unwrapping "Bless the Martyr" on Christmas is got to be an awesome memory to have. Hyped for Zayo video. I'm hyped for it too. It's gonna be I've written a couple of notes down for it. I haven't like scripted the whole thing out yet. But yeah, I'll be going through every single album, and I'll be starting at the very, very beginning with some of the 7-inch material that they put. I actually just listened to that the other night, the CD version of the first two Zayo 7-inches. And it's some interesting stuff. It's crazy to me how much Eric and Sean sound. They sound very similar to one another in a way that I wasn't expecting, because like I didn't spend a whole lot of time worrying about or I didn't spend a whole lot of time like really thinking about the pre-Sean era of Zayo. So that was kind of a newer discovery for me. I'm definitely more of a later Zayo fan, but I love all of it. Also hyped for the Schwab video. Yeah, man, the Schwab video. Dude, we have so much fun. So I've done a lot of episodes on Andrew's Patreon for his well, they were called Pale Riders, but they were called Pale Riders, but now for Omni Part 3, they're changing it to the Remnant. And we talk about that in the interview as well. But for a while there, Andrew and I were going through each episode of the TV show Black Mirror and discussing it. And that was a lot of fun. I did a lot of that stuff whenever I was kind of not really making content in the middle of this year. I was doing a lot of stuff with him. So, but yeah, no, we had a lot of fun dorking out about sci-fi and talking about Omni Part 3. I had to like force myself to like ask questions that music fans would want to hear, and because we spent so much time talking about like Transformers and stuff, it was just way too much fun. Are there any bands where you like the music but the lyrics ruin it for you? Remembering Never is one of those bands for me. Yeah, Remembering Never was like that for me. I really liked that band though. They had such a great sound. Unfortunately, their singer recently passed away, which is really sad. And Pete, yeah, he was a great vocalist. But yeah, their lyrics always kind of got to me. Honestly, for me, it's more of like the a lot of the like black metal stuff. Like it's weird, right? Because like I listen to a lot of like secular music, obviously. Predominant, like a lot, most of my collection probably is secular. And so like stuff like stuff like Cannibal Corpse doesn't bother me really that much, or Carcass, or like any of the like, or as I like to call them, horror movie bands, you know, where they're just trying to be scary, and trying to be crazy. But it's the bands. I think the only band that ever really bothered me, like lyrically, was Dissection. Um, that always made me feel a little uncomfortable. Have growing up Christian and kind of being part of that culture. Dissection's lyrics were very like so blatantly satanic that it definitely threw me for a loop. So yeah, I would say probably that would be my answer to that question. Would be something like Dissection. Um, people can call me a wimp or whatever, but like I don't know. If you just look at everything that dude was like about, it was definitely some weird stuff. Great music though, that's always the common theme, right? Loved their sound. Let's see. Discography discussion was such a fun podcast. Discography discussion was a fun podcast. Every now and again I'll get nostalgic for it because it's still up. I think Joe still pays to have it still available to listen to. It's such a different time in my life though. Whenever we were doing discography discussion, because like back then, I drank a lot, drank a lot of alcohol, swore a lot, did a lot of, and I've definitely cleaned up my act quite a bit. I've gone through a lot of like spiritual changes and growth since that time period. So it stands out as a really unique period of my history, but it was still a lot of fun and very entertaining overall. I just think back sometimes. I listen to some of the stuff that I said and I cringe. I'm like, oh no, I don't know. Oh, that's terrifying. I definitely said some things that I don't really love that I said at the time. And what's weird with that too, back then I kind of shied away from talking about Christian music because even though I knew a lot about it and I had that background, I was just like always like, I guess I don't know if anybody else can relate to this, but like when you grow up on Christian metal, um, you almost feel like you've got something to prove to other people, I can listen to secular music too. You can do all that, there's definitely a lot of strangeness that comes with growing up with that type of music. Um, but yeah, a lot of stuff's changed back then, but I absolutely, a lot of stuff has changed since then, but I absolutely don't regret it. And it was a ton of fun. And it's really cool seeing some of you guys are like, yeah, I've been with, I know like Lance is on here. Lance has been with me since discography discussion. Strat Cat has been here with me since discography discussion. Arise in the Fall has been with me since discography discussion. Like it's cool. It's really cool to see all you guys still listen to me prattle on and on and on and on. Where did I leave off here? Oh, okay. You ever heard of the group The Salters? I have yet to see a YouTube video covering them, but it'd be fascinating to do a deep dive on them. I have not. I have not heard The Salters. I will check them out, and if I find them interesting, maybe I will do a discussion. That's not a promise. I mean, don't hold me to it, but if I hear something that's really cool and I become obsessed with it, it's almost a guarantee that there's going to be a video about it eventually. Because my wife doesn't want to hear me talk about that stuff. But yeah, the whole like I've yet to see a YouTube video covering them. Like that's kind of been my whole shtick since starting the YouTube journey. Has been sort of looking for stuff that hasn't been talked about before. Like I feel like Embodiment was kind of the first one where I was like, I don't think anybody. I searched for days. I did Google searches and YouTube searches to find out if anybody had ever done a video on the band Embodiment, and nobody ever had. So I was like, okay, it looks like I'm going to be the guy that's going to make the 40-minute Embodiment video. And since then, I've tried to do the same with Demon Hunter. I couldn't believe there wasn't a Demon Hunter deep dive out there before. Just so many bands that like I feel like didn't get the type of coverage that other bands get. And I'm already kind of compiling a list for next year of bands like that, bands that nobody else has ever really talked about. So oh no, I'm getting text messages all over the place. It's probably somebody in chat that is like yeah. Oh, okay, yeah. There's somebody from chat. Hey dude, you sound like an idiot. Wrap it up. No. Uh anyway. Um Stratcat, hey, what's up, squad? Welcome to Dungeon Talk. You're late, Kyle. You are late. I want you to know that you're late. Skull Tattoo. No, I don't think that she knew what it sounded like talking about Bless the Martyr, Kiss the Child. But yes, that was a fun stocking present. My parents got me the self-titled Demon Hunter for Christmas that same year. That is that's one heck of a starter kit. That's awesome. That first Demon Hunter album is so good. The Derek went to see Cannibal Corpse and Meshuggah this year. That was amazing. That's so cool. The last time I went and saw Cannibal Corpse was, oh man, it was back when I was doing discography. I was on Discography Discussion and Brutally Speaking, and I remember I got into the show for free, which was awesome. And I remember I had a balcony seat, and I like ordered a steak in like a house porter or something, and I sat there and ate this like bloody steak while watching Cannibal Corpse play. So that was really fun. Absolutely. I've never seen Meshuggah live. I need to. I really need to. I've heard it's life changing. I really need to do that. My Bloody Patton. This is Brian Patton from the Casual Metal Podcast and As the Story Grows podcast. Brian and I try to sit down every week and do an episode of the Casual Metal Podcast, which is where I talk about all the other stuff that I don't talk about on the channel. And yeah, we're definitely trying to fill that discography discussion void for sure. Good on you for growing on that. Yeah. I assume you're talking about the stopping drinking and all of that stuff. Yeah, we've definitely come a long way. The drinking and the language and all that stuff, and just not acting like an idiot online, right? That's the goal. Lance is rubbing it in. Meshuggah live is amazing. 3 bands that I'm loving right now: Moontooth, Mutoid Man, and Haunt. I have heard Mutoid Man out of those 3. I'll have to check the other 2 out. Amy Grant, anybody? Yeah, I don't think I've ever actually listened to an entire Amy Grant song. So that would be an interesting thing to try sometime. I grew up on All Blindside and POD, and I completely get that point. Good call on Haunt. Carmen, yeah, probably not going to do Carmen. We had me and a friend of mine had kind of a negative interaction with Carmen years ago, where we were trying to like book him for a concert or something, and he wanted like so much money. And anyway, I don't know. I don't remember all the specifics, but yeah, it was kind of a weird sort of thing. Any upcoming shows you're hoping to make? Probably not. So that's kind of a sour point for me, is I don't go to very many shows anymore. And a lot of that is because I have an army of children. I have kids and a full-time job, and I do this YouTube channel, and I want to get out and talk to people more and get to meet people. I went and saw a Zayo show in August. And I only got away with that because my wife and kids were out of town that week, visiting some family. And so I did manage to go see Zayo. But like, I'm turning into such an old man that like they were my favorite band, and I really enjoyed their set. And I said hi to the guys and everything. And then I just like, I don't know, it was like 11:30 at night. I just went home and went to sleep. That was it. I feel like such an old dude for sure. Okay, let's see. Salters were a nomadic folk punk experimental group that were pretty serious about their lifestyle. They performed Cornerstone and traveled on a black bus. Okay, interesting. So you know what? I think I have heard that name before, Salters. I went to Cornerstone quite a few years in a row, and there were a lot of bands that were like that, like the kind of folk punk sort of sound. And they all had like their own thing, right? Some of them like didn't use didn't use gasoline and stuff. I remember like talking to a lot of those guys, and I was a teenager, so like I didn't really it didn't, whatever message they were trying to get me probably didn't sink in at the time. Yo, what's good, man? Love your channel. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. You guys have no idea what it means to me, just knowing that like all of you guys are out there and you guys have the same interests that I have. I think that's the biggest thing, because like when you grow up listening to this type of music, like it's one thing, like I don't know, if I was like 18 or 19 and I, had just graduated from high school and I started listening to like Cannibal Corpse and Amon Amarth and Slayer, like all the secular bands that everybody loves, I probably could have found community quicker, than I did. But with my upbringing, it was more of it's like, yeah, guys, I'm really into Mortification, or I'm really into Tourniquet, or all these other bands. And so like having that sort of Christian element along to it made finding other people that had the same interests as me, very difficult, and it felt very isolating. So it's really interesting how all these years later, come on YouTube, I start sort of mentioning some of these bands and talking about some of these bands, and then all of you guys, knowing you guys are out there and sort of had similar experiences to me, or into the same band. It's really into the same bands. It's really, really cool. It's really, really fun. And so I really appreciate kind of the community aspect of a lot of this stuff. Used to be a huge Mortal fan back in the day. Pyro and Jerome are amazing. Yeah, Mortal. I have a couple of Mortal cassettes somewhere in a box somewhere. What I'm actually doing right now is that my basement's actually kind of a mess, and my CDs are kind of a mess a little bit, but a lot of that is because right now I'm trying to actually rip every single physical disc I have to a hard drive, which is taking forever. I don't know if anybody's done that before, but that process takes a long time, especially when you have as many CDs as I have, and I have more CDs than this in boxes that I have to kind of go through. And at some point, I probably should start like an eBay store or something, and maybe sell off some of the fat. I don't know. I'm hoping by the end of next year, I will have everything like alphabetized and in a spreadsheet, and all of that. But as of right now, it's been kind of chaotic. But yes, I do have a couple of Mortal cassettes that I have not listened to in a long time. Where am I at? Sorry, guys. I'm trying to keep up with chat. I know I don't respond to stuff like when you type it, and I'm trying to be better about that. Let's see. I'm also like right from the middle of the Midwest, so I apologize for literally everything. So if you ran into me like at the supermarket or something, like if you plowed into me and knocked me on the ground, I would tell you that I'm sorry. So I apologize for apologizing so much. Normally we'd put a shotgun blast like right there, right? Or the glass breaking thing. Casual Metal Podcast is so good. Everybody should check it out if you haven't already. Couldn't have said it better myself, Lance. Check out Casual Metal Podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. I've said it before, but I swear Embodiment would be huge if they came out today with the Neuroscope of things, with that lineup and modern production. Man, I still, for the life of me, cannot figure out that. Like that is the big question, the $1 million question about Embodiment is, why did they not get big? Like they should have gotten big. They absolutely should have gotten big. And I can't figure out why. I mean, I think on some level I know why, because they were a Christian rock band when it wasn't necessarily cool to be that, because I feel like Christian metalcore really took off. but like they had stopped being like death metal. They'd stopped being metalcore. It was just some of the worst timing. It was like two people trying to. It's like two people trying to date on a sitcom, and that type of bad timing. That's what happened to Embodiment. They had sitcom dating luck. Essentially, they were always playing the wrong style for what they needed to be at the time, even though they were great at pretty much any style that they played. So, what's my current new? Okay, what is your favorite current? I can't read. What is your favorite current new Christian death metal? Hands down, Hope Deferred. The new Hope Deferred album, incredible. Dudes from Embodiment, David from the Showdown. It is a match made in heaven. It was an absolute awesome album. I haven't gotten mine yet though. I'm a little bit jealous. I saw a guy post the other day, I think it was on Instagram, that he had already gotten his CD and sticker or whatever, and I'm over here waiting for my shirt and CD, and so I'm hoping it shows up tomorrow. But yeah, Hope Deferred, 100% the best thing ever, right? What else we got here? One of the greatest things about the dungeon is the community. You all should check out the Discord. Yeah. So we do have a Discord server for DFT's Dungeon. I don't talk about it nearly enough, but yeah, we do have a Discord. So if you guys want to chat, that honestly, that is the best way to get a hold of me these days. Is I'm not really on I lurk on social media sometimes, but I really try not to post or engage, because the funny thing about social media is that I took a break from it for like 2 weeks, and I remember like within 2 days of not having Facebook and not having an Instagram feed, like I remember telling my wife, I was like, yeah, I had a really good day today. I didn't read anything that upset me. I didn't see anything that upset me. You know, I didn't even read comments on the YouTube channel, because like that can be a gold mine as well. Like there's most of it's funny because like most of my comments are positive, but every now and again, if I'm reading one at the wrong time of day or something, I'm like, oh, that actually kind of irritated me a little bit, you know. So, but when it comes to the Discord, the DFT's Dungeon Discord is definitely like a safe haven. A fun place to hang out. I'm in there. Stratcat is in there. We have a ton of fun. There's like 60 people in there right now. And we have a good time. We talk about music, we talk about movies, we talk about life, we talk about all kinds of stuff. So yeah, the Discord, 100% awesome. All right. Let me guzzle down some more water. So, where are we at in this chat here? I'm learning a lot with your videos, bands that I know and I discover new bands. That's really cool. That's awesome. That is totally the totally the goal. I love sharing. I love sharing new bands with you guys, and I learn quite a bit from you guys as well in the comments. Because you guys will sort of turn me on to new bands and stuff like that. Because a lot of the bands that I'm into, I probably got into like 15 to 20 years ago, and so every now and again I'll get a comment on the channel that's like, "Hey, this reference that you made was not a good one," or this reference that you made was like 10 years old. And it's like, yeah, I know. I was really active in the like really underground Christian metal scene. Whenever I first got out of high school, I was like very zealously into it. And that's where I found out about a lot of the bands that I talk about on the channel. And then I kept up with the ones that I really liked. The Derek, Living Sacrifice and Mortification was the first death metal that I ever heard when I was a kid. Changed my life. I found them both in Christian bookstores as a kid. Isn't that crazy that they would just stock death metal releases in Christian bookstores? Like, do you think the people that were ordering that, really knew what they were getting? I always think that's so cool because yeah, some of the most brutal records I bought in Christian bookstores. Just absolutely insane stuff. I get you, man. Your channel's a gold mine for me because all I listen to is Christian metal, and to see someone show the same amount of deep interest and love for it is so cool. Thanks, man. Yes, same here. Thank you. It's so nice seeing you guys out, knowing that you guys are out there. You know what I mean? It's not just me. Steve Gunner started ripping CDs back in 2001. Yeah, I mean, I I wish that I was smart enough to do that in 2001. I mean, in 2001, let's see, when was I born? I was probably like 13 in 2001. Not smart enough to think that I needed to make a FLAC copy or a duplicate copy that I could reburn and keep my original safe. If I had that information and took it seriously when I was a teenager, I would probably, be a lot further along in life than I am right now, or at least my music collection would be in better shape. There's so many albums I've had to rebuy because I just did not take care of it at all, man. Yeah. Yeah, it's wild. Let's see here. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. I'm like kind of tired. I've been up since like 5 o'clock this morning. I should have slept longer this morning, but apparently every time I sleep in, my boss calls me and asks me if I still want a job. So yeah, FLAC for the win. Yeah, I rip all my stuff to FLAC now. It takes kind of a long time, but yeah. I literally just apologized to a reckless cart pusher at Costco yesterday. Totally feel that. Totally feel that. Yep. Always say you're sorry, even if it's not your fault. I had a lady back out of a parking spot one time at a Schnucks, and I was walking by, and yeah, she just bumped into me, and I fell down, and I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry," and like she got out and yelled at me, even though she backed into me. A Christian metal sitcom, quite a concept. I mean, honestly, like if a Christian metal band was going to be in a sitcom, it would be Embodiment, like straight up. Project 86, anyone? Project 86 all the time. I love their new stuff. I love their old stuff. I have quite the assortment of Project 86 albums right in front of me right now, so I'll show you some of them. This is my Project 86 Songs to Burn Your Bridges by. This was the independent release of that album. A newer copy of Rival Factions I found in a hodgepodge bin. Let's see. Yeah, Drawing Black Lines, all-time classic. This one is interesting. So this was my original copy of Songs to Burn Your Bridges by. As you can see, it's signed by Schwab. And the reason it is in such bad condition is because I wrecked my car while I was listening to it really right after it came out. I bought this at a show. I had Schwab autograph it, and then I went and I flipped my mom's car while listening to it, and I was able to recover the CD, and it still played for years after that. What do we got? Truthless Heroes. We got Wait for the Siren. What else I got? Here's my better copy of Songs to Burn Your Bridges by, and the rest will follow. And hold on, we got more. Self-titled Project 86. Love this record. And then, of course, the big man in charge, Omni, parts 1 and 2. So good. This is like real stuff. This is that real stuff. Anyway, that was a side tangent. Somebody says Project 86. I'm like, I got to show you all my records, right? Living Sacrifice. Yeah, actually, hold on. I don't have all my Living Sacrifice albums here, but I do have at least one of them. I got my self-titled Living Sacrifice. This was the Nordic Mission re-release. It's good stuff. Anyway, back on track. Only checked out that Hope Deferred because of you going on about it. LOL. Thanks. Yeah. No, I mean, I've been waiting for that record forever, like literally forever. So I was really glad to get to talk about it. I was listening to it for a couple of years. Yeah. I had to listen to it for a couple. I got to listen to it for a couple of weeks prior to it being released, and then it was hard every time I had to do that because I'm not allowed to talk about it until a certain day, right? So that part was kind of rough, but I got through it, and I was finally able to make my video, so that was really exciting. What else we got? Norma Jean when they were called Ludicrous. Yeah. You know, one of my biggest regrets was selling my copy of Throwing Myself. I sold it on eBay because I needed to pay bills. I can't tell you how many times I've sold an album that was valuable just to pay a bill and hoping that I would get it back. And that one has only gone up in price since then. And it's like, I mean, I could buy it, but it's like, I don't want to pay $75 for a CD. I mean, I love Norma Jean, I love Ludacris, but I don't love Throwing Myself enough to pay $75 for it. Do you remember the band Common Children? That's another band that should have been bigger because the music is amazing. They later formed the band Hammock. I have not heard that band before. You guys are giving me a lot of stuff I need to go check out, so I'm definitely going to do that. I'll just pull up this chat and just search it for band names. I've got stuff to listen to for days. Let's see here. Let's see. Daniel FT is great. Daniel's my middle name too. It was so cool finding that. I felt like I found a treasure chest when I found this. I found these albums in a Christian bookstore. Yeah. 100%. What's your opinion on Hell's Enemy? I don't have an opinion on Hell's Enemy, although they have 100% been recommended to me about 100 times since I made that 7 levels of Christian metal video. It has been recommended to me time and time again. Another band I really need to listen to. I've already got them written down to check it out. So yeah, I wish I had a better answer. The first CDs that I bought at a Christian bookstore in 2002 were Figure 4, No Weapon Formed Against Us, and NIV, Tipping the Scales. Hold on, I think I have that. I think I have that Figure 4 record somewhere here. Hold on. See, now it's going to bother me. Yeah, here we go. Right here. It just jumped right out at me. Yeah, no Weapon Formed Against Us. Yeah. I did not get this in a Christian bookstore, but this is another one. Like, if you really go and look, never ignore like a punk section. If you're in a record store and they have a punk and hardcore section, just give it a look, because that's where I find stuff like this literally all the time. It's a pro CD collecting tip. No, I need that self-titled Project 86. Yeah. Anybody remember Rod Laver? Yeah, I remember Rod Laver. I didn't like it very much because of the lyrics, but the music was pretty jamming. They had a little bit. They kind of reminded me of Limp Bizkit a little bit, just a little bit, and almost the same level of cringe on some of the lyrics. I'm only at 6 P86 CDs. You got to get out there and get more of them. You should start with the Omni trilogy. That's 3 right there. Although I'm sure you probably already have 2 of them. Lance, thanks for doing this tonight. You're engaging and fun to chat with. I got to run for now. Have a great night, everybody. You have a great night too, my friend, even though you're probably already gone by the time I got down to this comment. Sorry about that. But yeah, I still own my 7-inch of Norma Jean Me Without You split. That's so cool. So I don't even have that. Did they ever release that on CD? So there's a couple of bucket list Norma Jean things that I really want, and one of them is that 7-inch, because I love the versions of those songs, those Norma Jean songs. I wish that the whole album, Bless the Martyr, sounded like those songs. They are very raw in a really good way. I love those versions of the songs. Thanks for reading my comments. Yes. Yes, you're welcome. Yeah, I hope I'm not missing anybody's comments. If I am missing them, just let me know. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. There's a lot more people here than I expected would be here, which is awesome. It's a good problem to have. But if I'm missing any comments, just let me know, and I will try to get to them. One of the things that I really thought was cool about the newest video that I did, sorry, I got distracted by chat. Oh wow, okay. Well, I'll get into my thing later. I'll jump back into chat. Have I heard Christian war metal? I have probably, if I have heard Christian war metal, I probably did not know it as such. I definitely need to dig a little bit deeper back into the I definitely need to dig back into the into the scene a little bit deeper than I have, because while I do like doing the ban list videos, they are a little bit surface level sometimes, and I definitely wish that I could go a little bit deeper, and so I've just been trying to find a way to do that, but also be videos that people actually want to watch. That's what was that was actually what was so weird about what was weird about the unblack metal video, because like I wanted to put that video out, and I was kind of like putting my shield up, like getting ready to get some absolute horrible comments, and I did, don't get me wrong, I mean I got some really hateful stuff, but thankfully YouTube like filters a lot of that stuff out, so if anybody gets like really out of control, I don't really even see it. But I was actually pretty blown away by the amount of people, number one, that watched the video at all, and two, had just very insightful commentary on a lot of the bands and sharing their experiences. Like it was like really, it ended up being what I thought was going to be terrifying, ended up being kind of wholesome. So I really, really enjoyed that. Um, let's see. You skipped my compliment on your Zayo sticker on your cup. Well, Kyle, you were late for the stream, so you know how that goes. Just is what it is. um, Rumors are true. I love your podcast and you as a person. Thanks, Jeremy. I love your podcast and I love you as a person. You're awesome. Dude does such great interviews with the types of people that I want to hear from. It's amazing. So check out the Rumors Are True podcast. You won't regret it. Your channel's definitely been shooting up in popularity. Yeah, I mean that was definitely not in my 2025 bingo card. Um I did not expect the channel to like kind of blow up like it did. Yeah, and I'm not like a super popular YouTuber or anything, but like it was strange. I started posting on YouTube in 2023, and I was stoked if a video got 1,000 views. I was stoked like if a video got 1,000 views or whatever, and I remember I put out that embodiment one, that embodiment episode, and like that one started doing really, really well. But I kind of struggled over the next year or so to like put videos out consistently. It was a lot. I didn't actually know how to do any of this stuff, like edit videos, and I don't know, like I just couldn't. Sorry, so much chat coming in. I'm getting like all messed up. But yeah, no, what I was saying is like I was excited if a video got 1,000 views, and the embodiment one ended up doing really, really well. But a lot of that too is because I remember I was like, well, nobody's I was like, nobody's done a comprehensive video on embodiment, and so I guess I'll do it, right? So that was cool, but I never really felt like I could follow that up. And then I took a huge break through like half of this year. I didn't post anything. I posted a couple things back in January and February, like a reborn video for Living Sacrifice I did. And there was another one. Was I think an Under Oath one, and like, and the Chariot. So like I put those videos out. I liked those. They did okay. I was fine with it. And then I didn't put anything out for a really long time. And I saw somebody do a 7 levels video, 7 levels of Nintendo game. And I was like, yeah, yeah, 100%. Like I could do a video like that about Christian metal. I did not expect that video to get like 150,000 views. That was a number that just, I still look at that and I'm just like, are you serious? Like, how could that many people have watched that video? Like, they had to have watched it for like 3 seconds and then turned it off, right? I don't know if that counts as a view. It's so funny because I really like, for as much stuff as I put out, I really don't know enough about how YouTube actually works, right? So that's kind of a weird thing. But anyway, yeah, I didn't expect it to do that well. and it's been growing ever since, and I'm here for it. I love it. It's the first time I've ever gotten paid to talk about music, because that obviously that 7 levels video got the channel to the point where I actually earn ad revenue on some of the videos, which is really cool, and was really unexpected. And because the music is so niche, like it works, it works really well. So anyway, it's enough about my channel and it being popular or whatever, because it's not. Let's see here. Goat Scourge makes some good Christian war metal. So I have heard Goat Scourge before. So I have heard Christian war metal. I just didn't know it. The Unblack Metal video listed so many bands I couldn't keep up. Yeah, I mean, you and me both, honestly. Like, that was hard because, like, when I did the 7 levels video, that was easy because I could pick any band from any genre that I want, right? And just sort of put them in these arbitrary categories that I had made up. And then for the metalcore video, it was the same one. So I'd kind of gotten into this pattern of doing a video with 7 categories for each band. And I got to the black metal one and I was all like, well, let's see. You've got this just shows, like, because I don't know terms like war metal and folk metal and Viking metal. Like, obviously I know them. I should have spent more time making the categories to make it a little bit easier to follow. But instead it was just like, I can only come up with these 3. So I know that, like, it was like a really, really dense. And sometimes I forget too that, like, so I write everything down in journals. I have a separate backpack full of spiral notebooks. So I write everything down, like, in these journals. And that's how I make these videos or whatever. But I kind of forget sometimes that other people don't do that. So it's like whenever I just list thing after thing after thing after thing after thing, I'm not thinking about the fact that, like, oh, somebody's probably gonna have to pause this to see what the band's name is. And then, like, one of the embarrassing things on that video is I misspelled Sletchvalk completely. So that was not fun. I was corrected on that almost immediately. I was like, man, we have got people that have got some keen eyes out there. Absolutely. Coax people with surface level bands and then drop the lesser known ones on their heads. Absolutely. I mean, why do you think I made a Demon Hunter video, right? No, actually, what's funny about that Demon Hunter video is the Unblacked video is actually outperforming the Demon Hunter video, which I would not have expected in a million years. They both performed well. But it's just funny seeing Unblack Metal, basically like a video that has El Jabor in it do better than a Demon Hunter video, right? No disrespect to El Jabor, but, like, that's just funny. Steve Gunner, I used to be in a small Christian punk / new metal band back in the late 90s. Kind of wish I didn't. God put us here when where he needs us in the moment. Yeah, that's awesome. What was the band? Maybe you say so later on in the comments, but yeah, who was the band? Andrew Godwin, Hope Deferred. You rock, bro. CD and shirt coming soon, I promise. Andrew, if you are still watching this, you and I need to get together and do a video on this channel, but, like, not talk about Hope Deferred, not talk about Embodiment. Let's just sit down and talk about our favorite death metal albums. Like, we need to do that. That would be a lot of fun. Because I've been listening to a bunch of Suffocation lately. My buddy Kyle really got me into Pierced from Within again, and so I've been blasting that in my car. So absolutely, we need to do that video if you're still watching. And thank you so much, sending out that CD and shirt. I am so excited. The Derek. Okay, Electro Ninja HD, very frequent commenter on the channel. Favorite abated mass of flesh release. Oh man, you're putting me on the spot. That's a tough one. Let me think. I'm actually pulling all their albums up just to look at them again because I can't remember. Come back to me on that one, but it's Sorry, I got to do this. So unprofessional. So unprofessional. You're like, he's looking it up. What an idiot. No, okay. I just couldn't remember what their third album was called, The Existence of Human Suffering, but I don't know. Probably The Omen King, but like I really liked their Brutal Death EP a lot whenever it came out. So yeah, no, I love Abated Massive Flesh. 1,000 views. If I'm lucky if a video I put out got 10. I mean, hey, the struggle's real on that stuff, you know. I still to this day have no idea how any of it works. Like, I have no idea why some videos do better than other videos. It doesn't make any sense. Some of my most high performing videos, I think, are not as good as some of my lowest performing ones. It's just a weird thing. Strat Cat, would you consider doing more stuff beyond Christian rock and metal? Yeah, absolutely. And that, you know, this is the thing that I'm not trying to say I'm not trying to say this to be cool or whatever, but like my intention with DFT's Dungeon was not to make it a Christian channel necessarily. Like my intention wasn't like, oh, I'm just going to sit down and I'm just going to talk about Christian bands. But at the same time, I also don't want to not do that, if that makes sense. Like I just want to talk about bands that I really like, and a lot of those bands ended up being Christian. And that's also part of why like I don't really talk about I don't actually really get into the theology side of things whenever I talk about it. Because I did, you know, before I started talking about Christian music more on the channel, I actually went and looked up a few other Christian music channels, like people that talk about the same thing, right? And a lot of good channels out there that talk about Christian metal, but they're almost more like Christian channel than they are like musical education channel. And so that's why I don't really talk about the theology behind it, or I don't really get into any of that stuff too much, because I'm not really into I just feel like other people are going to do that better than I am. And I think I don't want to like end up in a debate with somebody about, you know, denominational stuff. I just don't want to open myself up to that. I just want to keep the vibes positive, and so far it has been just sort of sharing the love of the music. I try to keep it about the music as much as I possibly can. But yeah, I mean, in the future, sure. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if occasionally you see me throw out a deep dive on a band that's not Christian, or, you know, something like that. Like it's definitely something that I would be interested in doing in the future for sure. But I also really enjoy what I'm doing now, and I enjoy the audience and everything. So we'll just see how it goes. Play it by ear. For the niche, I'd say that your channel is doing really well. Thank you. I appreciate that. It has exceeded my expectations beyond a shadow of a doubt. Rod Laver was amazing. Really a guilty pleasure. There was another band called Cope, but I don't know if you remember it. I remember Cope also. Cope, they were like a new metal, like hard rock, like new metal type of band. I remember them. Yeah. There's another band that was like them called Hospital that I really liked. I think I've got their CD too. Yeah. Let's see here. The Under Oath one is my favorite video of yours. Really good stuff. Thank you so much. Yeah, that first Under Oath video was weird for me to make. That was the first video where I was really trying to make a YouTube video, you know, more so than just a video about a video of me recording a podcast. You know, that's the thing that I'm always trying to kind of that's the thing that I'm kind of trying to figure out, like, you know, how do I take talking about music and make it visually interesting, right? Apparently the answer is just do a bunch of shotgun blasts and a bunch of glass breaking stuff, right? But yeah, no, I really enjoyed making that one. I really, really did. I remember Cope. Yeah. Um, let's see, Christian Doom sludge metal video would be great too. Some great bands like Zebulon and Doom of Death. Yeah, I think that'd be cool too. I've really been getting into sludge a lot lately. Somebody bought me some Acid Bath albums recently, and I really enjoyed them and want to hear more stuff like that. So yeah, I would definitely, if there are a lot of Christian bands in those genres, I'll definitely be digging a little bit more into that in the future for sure. Black metal has so many subgenres, so I'd say it isn't expected to fill them all in. Yeah, absolutely. You'd be surprised though. I mean, like, I'll do a thing. I'll do a thing, and like I'll think I went so deep. But then for whatever reason, somebody will comment be like, "Oh, you forgot to talk about XYZ." It's like, yeah. I mean, you got me. Um, let's see here. I pause your video. Fun black metal. Yeah. I pause your videos all the time to look up bands and songs and albums before you move on. That's awesome. That's really, really cool. I love that. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, and believe it or not, this is a weird thing too, but I get asked all the time, and I'll tell you guys since you guys took the time out to show up and talk about this. The reason people always ask me why I don't make lists of bands or why I don't put timestamps on the videos. It's actually an intentional choice. And the reason is because I have found in the past that whenever I make stuff like that, whenever I make it very easy for people to click on bands and find bands or whatever, nobody ever ends up actually watching my video. They just click off to the other band or whatever. And so it might be selfish or whatever, but like, because I actually do get paid now for doing YouTube, I get far better engagement by basically forcing people to watch the whole video before they click off of it. Just in case you were ever wondering, it's not anything like that I'm like trying to be difficult or whatever. It just is what it is. But there's an actual reason behind it. Surprise vomitorial corpulence wasn't mentioned. So vomitorial corpulence, yes, I did mention them a while back on an older video that I did. So I did two videos. There was two videos that I did. One was called Why I Love Christian Metal and Hardcore. And then did the one of why Christian music is frustrating. Because I wanted to have like a both sides of the coin, like a two videos that went together like that. I don't know if it succeeded or not, but I did mention vomitorial corpulence on that one. I did not mention them on the death metal video because I just consider it to be more of like a gore grind type of band, and I wanted to maybe do a separate video on bands like that. So I'm kind of saving them for later. Yeah, let's see here. My old band's name was called Soul Soup. I may upload our old stuff to YouTube. Yeah, absolutely. Throw it out there. Just throw it out there. Who cares, right? That's awesome. You don't want to be pigeonholed. Makes sense. Absolutely. Yeah, I don't really want to get like, I don't want to like come out and be like, oh, I'm a Christian channel that does it. I don't like throwing the word Christian on things because I think sometimes it sets expectations in people's minds as to how they think that I'm supposed to act and how I'm supposed to speak and how I'm supposed to do this and that. I try my very best to be non-offensive, and I try my best to make videos that are enjoyable to other people. But I don't want, I just don't want to open myself up to all of the expectations that comes along with making specifically Christian entertainment. I've just been in it too long, and I've seen so many people do it badly, and I'm not convinced I would do it any better. So I just started to stay out of it. Just discovered your channel. What's a good place to start? I would start at 7 levels of Christian metal and move on from there. That has been my most successful run so far this year. The other videos before that are really good too, but that's where I would start personally if I was brand new to the channel. I saw POD in Chesterfield a couple weeks ago, and they still got a lot of energy for being 50 something. I had no idea they were in town. I know you live near me. So yeah, Chesterfield is not that far from me either. But yeah, that's awesome. I haven't seen POD in such a long time. That would be so cool. What's your denomination? Without getting into it, I do attend an Assemblies of God church. Strat Cat, got a peace out, man, but this was a great time. Hope to see more of these in the future. Yeah, absolutely, man. I think so. I mean, if tonight's been a lot of fun. I love just interacting directly with you guys. A deep dive into Converge would be great. Absolutely. I don't know if I could pull it off anytime soon. But yeah, I would love to sit down and talk about every Converge record. Just like the Norma Jean one. That would be a lot of fun. Yeah. Would you ever do a chat submission stream? I don't know what that means. Sorry. Would I ever do a chat where like people like people send me questions and then I read them on stream, or I'm not sure. You'll have to explain it to me like I'm dumb, because I am. As someone who studies theology, just because I'm a nerd for it, please keep doing what you're doing in terms of keeping your channel focused on the love of the music. We need more of that. Absolutely, man. Thank you for that. I know that it is appreciated by some people that we just sort of keep it about the music here. I love that. More sludge from my area. Abominable Iron Sloth. That's the coolest name I've ever heard for a band. That's awesome. Have you ever thought of making a video covering the Christian post-hardcore scene, or was that type of music not really your thing? No, I love post-hardcore. Yeah, I would not be surprised if a video that's similar to like my death metal and black metal and metalcore videos. I would not be surprised if sometime early next year we got you got a video like that from me, for sure. We should start a doom sludge Christian band that plays in B standard or A standard with a slower Morbid Angel typo negative-ish kind of vibe. That would be awesome. That would be really cool. Why do you hate Cardiac Rebellion by Becoming the Archetype? I never forgot how upset you said that song made you on the Discography Discussion podcast. Yeah, that was the song where they went ska, right? Am I thinking of the right song? I'm going to pull it up real quick and listen to it for a second, because I'm pretty sure that was the song that had ska in it, and I really don't like ska. That was probably all it was. And keep in mind, a lot of the stuff that I said on Discography Discussion was like really for a fact, right? It was like really for yeah. It was really just, animated for the show. Yeah. Thank you for the answer. I'm checking out more videos. Thank you so much. Yeah, I appreciate that. Speaking of Discography Discussion, how do you feel about Pantera now that it's been a while? Oh, that's a loaded question, right? I mean, Pantera never made it into my regular rotation, right? I see. Okay. Yeah, and just Pantera never made it into my regular rotation after that. So I still think Phil's lyrics are stupid for the most part. But I mean, again, like I was saying, I don't hate, I don't wake up every morning and like hate Pantera, or anything like that. So they're fine. Even that upsets people whenever I say that. Like, yeah, like Pantera is fine. I saw your message about where can I join your Discord. I am getting there. I'm trying to make an invite real quick, if I can remember how to. I have mods on Discord that like help me with this sort of stuff. So let's see here. Invite people. That's probably what I want, right? No. So that's a private channel. So how do I do this? Invites. Here we go. No expiration. Create one. Hey, I'm doing it. I'm figuring this out. I am figuring this out in real time. We're going to edit my invite link because we don't want the invite to expire. And as many people, okay, we're going to generate a new link. I'm going to copy it and I'm going to drop it in the chat just like that. Boom. There we go. We got it. All right. That should take you in. That should take you to the Discord. Let me get back to this chat here. Okay, basically, send me your top 3 or 5 bands right now, or send me your and most obscure song band, and I can take a listen. If I can figure out how to do that without getting copyright struck, I will do that. That would be a lot of fun. That would be a lot of fun. Absolutely. Let's see here. Basically, okay. Have you ever heard of Collective Dust? They've been gaining a lot of traction and sound reminiscent of early MySpace emo era of metalcore. I think they're out of Tennessee. I have not heard them, but I will check them out. Absolutely. Discord stuff. Any broken up Christcore bands that you really want to come back or you think would suck if they if they came back? So any bands that I would be mad if they returned? I don't know about that. Let's hold on. Let's think about this though. This is a really interesting question. Okay. Let's go with the first half. First. Okay. Any broken up Christcore bands you really want to come back or you think would suck if they came back? So, bands that I wish would come back. Mortal Treason. Mortal Treason was really, really, really good. Probably one of my favorites. Their first album, A Call to the Martyrs, is one of my favorite records that I have ever heard. Let's see. Yeah, the Chariot, obviously. Everybody wants the Chariot to come back. Nodes of Ranvier would be a big one for me. Yeah, Nodes of Ranvier, one of my favorite bands of all time. Their second album is like a perfect record for me. It's a 10 out of 10. Just 10, yeah, would recommend no matter what, under any circumstances. I don't even care what somebody else's tastes are. They need to listen to that band. What bands do I think would suck if they came back? Such a loaded question. Probably, okay, band that I think probably wouldn't be as good if they came back, if I'm just being honest, and this is like new music, would be A Plea for Purging. I love that band. I love them. But I don't necessarily know if they would be as good if they came back around. I know that sounds crazy, but I remember watching some of the performances and stuff at Furnace Fest and just not really feeling it. So hopefully I'm wrong about that. But yeah, it's my final answer, and I love A Plea for Purging, so I don't want anybody to like think that I'm being weird about that or that I hate them or something. I just don't know. I just don't know if they'd be as good the second time around. Okay. Your thoughts on Demon Hunters, There Was a Light Here album. I got to see them in Nashville with Convictions and War of Ages. It was an amazing concert. Yeah, one of my best friends was at that concert as well in Nashville. He was sending me pictures. I heard it was a really, really, really good show. I unfortunately did not get to see that show whenever they came through St. Louis, just because I'm an old man and for whatever reason I can't bring myself to get to shows anymore. There's always some reason. I had intended to go, but anyway, what do I think about this album? Honestly, I think that There Was a Light Here is the best Demon Hunter album in a while. Because I haven't been. If you watch my video on Demon Hunter, I didn't outright say it in the video, but I definitely hadn't been stoked on probably the last 2 or 3 releases. Being oh my gosh, why can I think? Outlive. I didn't really love. I think it's a beautifully produced record, and I didn't really love. I didn't love the concept record Exile very much. So there was a light here. I feel like is kind of more of a return to form for Demon Hunter. Really good mix of heavy songs, but then also like poppy and uplifting songs. And there's definitely an emotional edge to the new Demon Hunter album that I think is pretty new and unique to them. So yeah, I like it. All of that is to say is I like it. I think it's pretty good. Thanks to the Discord link. You're quite welcome. What if White Cross returned? I think that would make a lot of people happy. I mean, I think people would be into that. The Chariot will always need to come back. Yeah, 100% they will. This is talking about the chat, the submission chat. I could also do it as a Discord event where only people in Discord can watch. That might be what we do. So well, like what I'm doing tonight, the live stream, super cool, right? I do stuff like this on Discord randomly all the time, where we'll jump in and just talk on the voice chat and sometimes watch videos and stuff. Just depends on if I have a free night. I like to jump in and do that. So if you're in the Discord, look out for that. Underneath the Gun would be cool to see back. Yep, 100%. Love Mortal Treason. Me too. Strong Arm should come back 100%. But you know what? I would actually, this might be a hot take for somebody, but I think that the Strong Arm stuff is I think that the Strong Arm is a band that Strong Arm's a band that I think if they came back they wouldn't be as good. Not because they're not good, but just because I don't think that I think that their albums are so like god tier. They're all-time classics that like anything that they put out would never measure up to the mythology that people have built up in their heads around Strong Arm and their releases. So yeah. White Cross said themselves there's no second chance. Might be out of context though. Okay, I see what you did there. What the heck happened to Mortal Treason? They were unapologetically Christian. They were. I know the singer was like a famous like X game. I don't know if he was a skateboarder or what, but he was like in X Games, I thought, or something like that. At the time, but I just liked him because the vocals sounded like Zayo. Their first album reminded me of Zayo's Blood and Fire like a lot. Such a good band. I wonder if Pillar will start making music seriously again. They made a single, played some shows, and revealed a documentary this year. I wonder if an album will come with it. It's a good question. I have no idea. I'm definitely not much of a Pillar fan, although I did jam Fireproof quite a bit back in the day. Thoughts on Blood Guilt? I haven't listened to Blood Guilt yet, but I'm meaning to, because that's the band that has the dudes from Project 86, right? Am I thinking of the right band? The hardcore band with the dudes from Project 86 in it. Yeah, let me know if I'm right about that. If so, I have it bookmarked. I just haven't had a chance to listen. Hope to hear new music from 12 Stones. Their singer returned to do his feature on Evanescence Bring Me to Life at a festival this year, and they've been playing shows again lately. That's cool. Me and my friend Buddy were huge 12 Stones fans back in the day. Back when we were in high school. we used to jam their song Broken all the time. That was around the time whenever we were first trying to start our own bands, and we were trying to decide if we wanted to be like a screamy band or a hard rock band. And I remember us like listening to that first 12 Stones album and being like, see, these guys are able to do both, or we should do both too. We ended up just becoming a metalcore band because that's what all the cool kids were doing that year. Oh man, I'm running out of water. Oh man, but yeah, what a crazy journey this whole year has been. I was actually going to like stop. It's funny. So like when I was doing DFT's Dungeon as a audio podcast, I pretty much was like, yeah, I want to quit back in 2023. I was like, yeah, I'm done. Because like discography discussion was a fairly okay, like big podcast, at least that's what I thought of as a big podcast at the time. And I felt like I'd taken it as far as I was going to be able to take it. And so when I quit and started DFT's Dungeon, it was an audio only podcast, and nobody really listened to it. Like people didn't follow me from discography discussion to DFT's Dungeon. So I was basically just like, yeah, maybe it's time for me just to hang it up. I've been doing all this stuff. I've been doing this stuff for a long time, since 2017. So it'd be 10 years. So about 8 years. And I was like, yeah, maybe I'll be done. And then my buddy Matt Nas was like, you should Matt Nas from Gabber Media. He was like, you should take your last couple of episodes and make them into YouTube videos. And I did. And then I was like, cool, that did well enough for me to keep going. And then after a couple of years of doing that and not really feeling like I was getting much traction, I was ready to quit this year too. And then I put that 7 levels video out, and it's a huge spike. So, I don't, like I said, I don't normally get very spiritual on the channel, but it definitely feels like God's telling me to do something, or to keep doing what I'm doing. So that's pretty much what I'm going to do. Getting back to the chat here. Love your LS hoodie. Thank you so much. I love this hoodie as well. The only thing that I wish was different about it was that, like, I love the old school print and the logo. But like, I wish that it was silver. I wish there was like a shiny silver version of it. That would be cool. Yep, that's them talking about Blood Guilt. I got their album on iTunes, and it's really good. I didn't know you could buy you can still buy stuff on iTunes. I didn't even know you could. I thought they shut that down. Shows what I know. 7 Angel 7 Plays is another needing a comeback. Yeah, that band is so good. That band is so good. Oh man. Love your channel. I've always thought about doing some videos on Christian bands and their discographies. Maybe someday. I'd love to see System Failure come back. Yeah, I mean, honestly, just make those videos. Just start making them. I know it's easy to say, right? Oh, just start making them. But I mean, if it's something that you want to do, don't be afraid to just try doing it. That's what I did, and I'm still learning how to make good videos to this day. Every time I make a video, I feel like I did a lot better than I did on the last one. So if it's something you're thinking about doing, do it. That would be cool. We need more channels like that. Thoughts on 6 Feet Deep, and also favorite Narcissus record. So new wave techno homicide. Literally one of my favorite records of all time. Incredible. I also really like 6 Feet Deep. Their song Angry Sun is a song that I still go to when I'm like upset about stuff and I need some perspective. So like that's, yeah. Dodging Bullets would definitely be a cool comeback. Like 1,000%. 1,000%. Are there any Christian bands similar to Dillinger? I wouldn't necessarily say there's bands that are just like Dillinger. But there definitely are a lot of chaotic bands, but Dillinger's too unique in my opinion to have any Christian bands that I know of that sound exactly like them. 6 Feet Deep was an amazing band. Still got their 2 cassettes. Yeah, I used to have Struggle on cassette. I might still have it. I'm not sure. I need to take inventory of my cassettes and all of that. Dillinger is just their own genre, I guess. Yeah, you're not wrong. I mean, they kind of are. And I don't really like comparing or trying to find like Christian. I wouldn't. Nobody's saying the words Christian version, but I I've been trying to like look at some of these bands on their own merit as much as I can. That's why I try not to compare bands directly to other bands in my videos, because I feel bad for Christian bands that like, because I remember when my band End of Destiny, we had a keyboardist, and I remember people used to be like, "Oh, so you guys are just trying to sound like Bleeding Through," and it's like, no, we were trying to sound like Under Oath, but people were like, "Oh, you're just trying to sound like Bleeding Through because you have a keyboard and you play metalcore, right?" And it's like, I don't know, I always hated that. Not saying that's what you're doing. It's just that's just where my brain went. So, but guys, I think I'm gonna have to wrap for tonight. I'm coming up on almost 2 hours, and my voice is like literally starting to parch. So I will give it about, let's say, I think maybe we'll call it quits around 9:15 if that works for you guys. But I'm just gonna keep reading chat till then, try to get through as much of it as I can. Like they aren't alternatives; they're just their own bands, is what you mean. Yes, yes. Thank you. So much better. So much better. Uh, so you said it so much better than I did. What about Still Breathing, or at least the side project bands from Still Breathing, like Operator Dead, Postman, Lacey's band Hollywood Burning, that never really went anywhere? I've only heard Still Breathing out of a lot of those bands. I love that Still Breathing album. Holy smokes, that thing is so good, so heavy, so in your face. Oh, so good. Thanks for the stream, Dan. Take it easy. Yeah, no, thank you. Thanks for coming to the stream. This was so much fun. So much fun, and I'm definitely going to do it again because this was a good time. Like I said, I really wasn't sure what to expect, so I'm really happy that you guys came out like you did. I mean, we're sitting at 198 chat comments here. That's insane, absolutely insane. Satan does not create; he only perverts what God has created. For that reason, I'll compare secular Christian bands. That's love it. Yeah, I just don't like making the comparisons because for such a long time, the comparisons were wrong anyway. Telling me if I like Slayer, I like Zayo. I mean, yeah, maybe in the sense that they both play rock music, I guess. But yeah. But all right, guys. Yeah, I think I guess I'll go ahead and sign off for the night then. And if like I said, I got a couple more minutes. I'm down to discuss death metal with you anytime. Come on with that Pantera love. Well, we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Okay, Andrew. You're the man though, dude. Absolutely. I none of what I said about the Hope Deferred record is fluff. I really love it, man. So, but yep, I'm gonna go ahead and jump off then if there's no more. And thank you guys so much for coming. Hope to see you guys in the Discord. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Okay. I will have that Project 86 interview. I'll have that video with Schwab out very soon. So probably Monday, if I had to guess. So thank you guys so much. I'll talk to you guys next time. Good night.